I'm about this close to losing my voice once again, so an abbreviated episode next on the AM Update. Well, I really cannot not do a show again because I'm losing my voice for about the third time in the past calendar month. But nonetheless, we'll put something out here. There's just a few things that I want to talk about this morning. Of course, I've been trying to discern if this story is just kind of an online phenomenon or whether it's something real and spectacular that we need to be paying attention to. Yesterday, Representative Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey went on Fox News and made this astounding claims about all of those videos of drones circulating online flying above New Jersey.
Well, here's the real deal, Harris. You know, I'm also on the Transportation Committee, on the Aviation Subcommittee, and I've gotten to know people. And from very high sources, very qualified sources, very responsible sources, I'm going to tell you the real deal. Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones. That mothership is off, I'm going to tell you the deal. It's off the east coast of the United States of America. They've launched drones. It's everything that we can see or hear. And again, these are from high sources. I don't say this lightly. Now, you know, we know there was a probability it could have been our own government. We know it's not our own government because they would have let us know. It could have been some really glorified hobbyist or hobbyists that were doing something unbelievable. They don't have the technology. But let's pretend that's possible. The third possibility was somebody, an adversarial country, doing this. Know that Iran made a deal with China to purchase drones, motherships, and technology in order to go forward.
Wow. So that is Congressman Jeff Van Drew of New Jersey stating that Iran, in conjunction with China, has a mothership of drones off the east coast of the United States. And these drones that have been spotted in the skies above New Jersey and other places along the east coast, they have been flying to and from that mothership. Now, Deputy Press Secretary of the Department of Defense, Sabrina Singh, said, no, there's no mothership.
So aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time, we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but, at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
That is Sabrina Singh, Deputy Defense Secretary for Communications, I should say, saying, no, there's no mothership. I'm more inclined to believe Jeff Van Drew. At this point, I don't really trust the Biden Pentagon as far as I can throw it, because there was also this story yesterday that broke. The U.S. Attorney General's office released a press statement about the arrest of a Chinese citizen for allegedly taking photos of a military base with a drone back in November. An affidavit said that officials at Vandenberg Space Force Base in Santa Barbara County were alerted to a drone flying over the base on November 30th through the use of drone detection technology. The detector indicated a drone was flying over the base about a mile above ground level for an hour and had been launched from a public area near the base called Ocean Park. Security personnel from the base went to Ocean Park and encountered 39-year-old Yinpao Zhu of Brentwood. They said he was concealing a drone in his jacket and that it was the same one that was detected over the base. After obtaining a federal search warrant, they searched the drone and found photographs of Vandenberg Space Force Base from the air. Investigators also said Zhu had searched online for Vandenberg Space Force Base drone rules and that he had messaged another person about hacking his drone to allow it to fly higher than it was supposed to fly. Now, Zhu is a Chinese citizen, and he is a lawful permanent resident of the United States, though. He was charged with a violation of national defense airspace, as well as failure to register an aircraft not providing transportation. So that news breaks on the same day that the congressman from New Jersey says Iran, with help from China, has a ship stationed off the east coast of the United States and are sending drones to and from New Jersey in and around sensitive military installations. And the Pentagon's like, yeah, that's not happening. We We don't have any indication. We don't have any indication to say that this is a foreign country. Well, what the heck is going on? Figure something out. I think some of this is a social media phenomenon, the fog of war. But I think after listening to Jeff Van Drew again, he states in no uncertain terms this is what it is. It's Iran. So, what do you think is actually going on? Let me know at Real AM Update. Another thing I want to talk about. I have a theory about why people like Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell stay in office so long. Yes, there's human nature. Yes, there's human factors at play. Some of the time, these guys stick around in office. It's not really for them or their families. They have these massive staffs that are dependent on them for a job, and they feel obligated. I'm sure that's part of it. But I don't know if you've seen the pictures, the photographs of Mitch McConnell this week. He now has a bandage on his face and a brace on his wrist after taking a fall at a Senate dinner, a Senate lunch earlier this week. Looks in really bad shape. A couple of videos surfaced this week as well. He's barely able to walk by himself. Another video surfaced. He was being pushed around in a wheelchair. He is, 82 years old? Nancy Pelosi is, she is 84. And they're just two. I could name other examples as well. My theory is this. They stick around this long, taking falls in front of their colleagues. It's humiliating stuff. Because I think the humiliation is preferable to whatever their office affords them to hide, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the answer to why they stay in office so long is probably hidden in the same place as the answer to why we care about Ukraine so much. So that's just a thought. But boy, howdy. 82 years old, barely can walk, barely can talk now, and taking falls in front of your colleagues. All right, last thing I want to share with you this morning is Dr. Alex Karp. He's the CEO of Palantir Technologies. Palantir is, they specialize in big data processing. It's a company founded by Peter Thiel back early 2000s. I think you can add Dr. Alex Karp here. He was speaking at a conference recently. You can add him to the list of CEO moguls who are experiencing a change in philosophy and worldview. And after this, I want to explain why this might be a really important thing. This is about 2 minutes long. Listen to Dr. Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir Technologies.
Americans are the most loving, God-fearing, fair, least discriminatory people on the planet. And they want to know that if you're waking up and thinking about harming American citizens, or if American citizens are taken hostage and kept in dungeons, or if you're a foreign power sending fentanyl to poison our people, something really bad is going to happen to you and your friends and your cousins and your bank account and your mistress and whoever was involved. And, when Americans are spending $1 trillion on defense, what I want and what I think my peers want is, why are these people keeping our citizens hostage, torturing our people, attacking our allies, maligning us in what was once called the United Nations, basically a discriminatory institution against anything good? We need to stand up, and those people need to be scared. And that's why this conference is so important, because we have the best products in the world, and we cannot have parity. Our adversaries do not have our moral compunction. If it's even, they will take advantage of our niceness, kindness, our desire to be at home in Nebraska or New Hampshire or wherever we live in our peaceful environments. And they need to wake up scared and go to bed scared. And if you give that to the American people will go back and say, and honestly, probably shouldn't say this is why I thought the Democrats were going to lose the election, why they did, because people want to live in peace. They want to go home. They do not want to hear your woke pagan ideology. They want to know they're safe. And safe means that the other person is scared. That's how you make someone safe. And the average American person understands this. Unfortunately, many of the intellectually captured institutions funneled and intellectually owned by the Berkeley faculty do not. And that's what they want. It's sure as hell what I want. And that's what Palantir And all the people in this room, I hope, we're here to serve the American people. And my version of service is the soldiers are happier, the enemies are scared, and Americans go back to enjoying the fact that we're the only one with a real tech scene in this country, and we're going to win everything.
So that is Dr. Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir Technologies. Now, maybe he's been patriotic like that my entire life, but I just heard about him this week. So now this is, Peter Thiel. He's been, dabbling and funding right-wing candidates for a while now. He's the president or founder of Palantir. Dr. Karp is the CEO. These these Silicon Valley tech moguls. Peter Thiel's been kind of right-wing for a while now. Definitely Elon Musk, saying that the woke mind virus killed his son, which is every time I hear that clip going around, it's just gut-wrenching. You've seen and heard Mark Zuckerberg of Meta. You've seen and heard him make ovations that he wants to do a better job. He wants to do a better job with Facebook and making it a platform for all. Made ovations after the attempted assassination of Donald Trump, saying that was the most badass thing he's ever seen. So Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos recently, not nearly as outspoken as what you just heard there or what you've seen from Elon Musk, but his op-ed at his own paper, the Washington Post, explaining why they didn't endorse Kamala Harris, saying this paper and the media at large is not trusted by the American people. From all of these, and we need to earn the trust back of the American people. Regardless of how outspoken all of these figures are, all hugely wealthy, successful people coming out of Silicon Valley, the common theme is, regardless of how outspoken they are, is this: they just want things to work, and for people to do their damn jobs, and for institutions to work the way that they were supposed to, for companies to work and function the way they can and should. That's the common theme. And if that sentiment spreads, and anything getting in the way of that, including DEI, including the woke nonsense, anything getting in the way of that is a negative. If that sentiment spreads throughout the rest of corporate America, and I happen to think that it will, if it's starting in Silicon Valley, it will spread. That would be one of the most consequential paradigm shifts back to really what it was prior to Obama. That would be a massive paradigm shift for this country, and a positive one as well. People who make big-time decisions, wildly successful, owners of wealth that most of us would never even dream about coming within 10 inches of. If they're the ones saying, okay, enough with the games, enough with the DEI, anything that gets in the way of the prosperity and success of America and its people, it's time to do away with that. If that sentiment spreads, that's going to be much more impactful than anything I think Donald Trump can accomplish, maybe, in this term. And I think he can accomplish a lot. So anyway, just a few thoughts here this morning. I said I wasn't going to go long. Where are we now? We're about 15 minutes into this. Yeah, you can probably turn it off now because I'm going to complain about my health. I was sick about 3 weeks ago. It's the same virus everybody's had. Piers Morgan was talking about this, where you feel like it's a cold for a day. It sucks. Day and a half, lose your voice for a day. Everybody's had this. Everybody that I've talked to has had this or knows somebody who has had this. And it goes away. You drain. Well, I just kept draining and draining and draining and draining. And it went into my chest. And woke up yesterday morning. I'm really frustrated. So this is more of a vent than anything. Yesterday morning, woke up. The chest was worse than it was the day before. It was slowly, I thought, starting to get better, but the chest was worse than it was the day before. So I was like, I really hate doing this, but I probably need some antibiotics or something like that. So I go to a little hospital in town. They get me in and out really fast. Doctor said, breathing sounds fine. Still wrote me a prescription for Z-Pak. So that's why my voice is what it is. So wanted to get something out there. I've taken a couple of days off in the last calendar month because I lost my voice. I couldn't do that again, especially with Christmas break coming up. And so I didn't want to shortchange, easy for me to say, shortchange anybody. But just a few thoughts here this morning and a few stories that caught my eye. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Coming up tomorrow, voice willing, we're going to do Ask or Tell Me Anything. Tell me any story you think needs to be covered. Ask me any question you want. Ask or Tell Me Anything. Coming up on the Friday edition of the AM Update. Have a wonderful day. Back at it again tomorrow. I'm Aaron McIntire, and this is the AM Update.